Player. All right, so in today's video, I'm going to talk about the time I bought my first knife in prison. So let's get into it. Dang. All right, so, that smoke, player. All right, so I got out of quarantine, and they sent me to my first dorm, like my official dorm, and I'm still at the processing camp. So I forgot how many people are in this quarantine dorm. I think it's like 20, maybe 30 people, not a lot, right? And then they start sending you to your dorms before you actually get shipped off. Okay, so these dorms are bigger. They're like 200-person dorms, no cells, all day room, just one big concrete jungle of inmates, you know what I'm saying, criminals. So I'm there for about 3 days. I really had nobody mess with me, but the intensity of the environment, man, the tension, okay, the tension stuff. Now, no one really messed with me, but stuff was popping off all around me, like people getting cludged out. A couple dudes got stabbed, and your bubble of reality is getting popped. Okay, you're like, wow, dude, like people are getting slaughtered in here. Like, Dorothy, you're not in Kansas anymore, you know? So I'm sitting there like, man, I gotta get a weapon, dude. I gotta get a weapon, man. I don't know. Like, the only thing in my mind, look, I'm just gonna be 1,000 with y'all, man. The only thing in my mind was like, I don't care how long I have here. I don't care what happens. I am not leaving prison a punk, okay? I'm not leaving prison a homosexual, you know what I mean? I'm not doing any boy stuff, you know, period. I don't care how many years I get for it. That ain't gonna happen. So I just kept that in my mind. Now, I'm in general population for like 2 days, and I start seeing all this stuff going on. And I'm like, I need a knife. So I didn't really know like how do you buy knives in prison? You know what I mean? Who do you talk to? Who's the knife guy? And I just like looked to this rack next to me, and he was sitting there like eating some kind of Debbie cake or something. And I was like, hey man, like you know where I can get a knife? And he was like, you want a knife for real? And I was like, yeah. Like, how much would it be? He's like, give me 6 items. Now 6 items is anywhere, it's like currency in prison. Okay, that's what you buy stuff with, because you're not allowed to have like paper money. So I think it was like 3 noodles, 3 noodle packs, 3 noodle cups, like 2 pastries and a drink or something like that, right? So a couple hours later, he comes back with it wrapped up in his shirt, and he don't never touch it. You know what I mean? Like, he don't want his fingerprints on it. Just kind of like puts it off to me, and I grab it, and it's a welding rod. Okay, a thick weld rod, not a little flimsy one. It's a welding rod. You know, let me see, probably about this tall. You know, it's long, dude. The handle's got I think electrical tape and a piece of sheet around it. And man, when I tell you the point on this thing was sharpened to a needle, I mean, it's like, I don't know if they probably put it on the concrete and just kept rounding it and rounding it, just needle, bro. I mean, I just barely poked my hand. It was like, oh shoot, like it hurt my stomach feeling how sharp this thing was. And it was the type of knife would be labeled under an ice pick. Okay, an ice pick is a thrusting tool only. It's only meant to stab, which most prison weapons are. But it's a super long stabbing weapon. Okay. Anyways, so an ice pick, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is exactly what I'm looking for. This will work." Mm. So he's like, "Hey, you did get it for me." I was like, "Yeah, got to worry about that." Slid of the 6 items, and I got my knife, right? I'm trying to find a way to carry this thing, like, do I get a sheath with this? I'm like putting it in my pants line, and I'm like tucking it in my belt a certain way. And like, the people, everybody's watching you in here. Okay. Somebody is watching you 24/7 in prison. And people are looking around at me like, I just kind of do a quick scan, and everyone's just like, when you see a knife, it's like, oh, someone's fixing to get it. So just getting in these people's minds, for a split second, it's like, they're like, oh, who's he going to air out? Right. And me, I'm just like, how do you carry this? The whole time I'm like, bro, I ain't trying to stab nobody yet. I don't, nothing's happened yet. I'm carrying this thing around like a pistol or something, dude. So I got it, and I, put my shirt over it, and people are looking at me just like all crazy. I don't know how this stuff works, man. I just know there's a lot of thumping going on and people getting messed up. And like, I want a pistol, you know what I mean? I want an air out tool. I want an equalizer, you know? So I got it, and, I'm walking around with it and stuff like that. And, I know it's illegal. I don't know anything though. Okay. You got to get my mindset. Like, I am so green to how this prison stuff works. It's just, I'm lost right now. All I know is like, hey, if someone you try to touch my honey buns or something like that, I'm poking this thing in you. That's all I know. So I end up talking to a dude I've been talking to on the cell. Well, we was in quarantine together, okay? And we got kind of cool in quarantine. And I was like, hey, look, dude. So like, I bought a knife. Where's the best place to put it? Like, should I keep it on me? Should I put it in my mat? Should I, where do I put this thing? What would you do? I don't know how, like, what do I do? And dude, I was expecting to get some type of relief from his answer. I was expecting him to be like, yeah, bro, just put it right here or keep it on you, like wrapped up a certain way, and it'll never be found. I do it all the time. And I'd be like, oh, thank God, I can carry this thing around and, have my confidence with me and everything's good. That's what I'm wanting to, that is what I'm wanting to hear. Okay. Well, he's basically like, shoot, man. He's like, look, dude, you get patted down by the police and like, that's a charge, bro. That's like getting caught with a weapon, depending on what camp you're at. And where I was, excuse me, a truck's going by. Where I was, like, you could have problems with inmates and stuff like that. But the biggest thing was the police. Like, the police would kill you here. Okay. Like, the police were the biggest thing to worry about. Really only here. They've killed people before. They've gotten away with it. And this ain't like an inmate versus police thing. Just that's what they were known for, is like beating your brains out, hiding you somewhere until you got better, or sometimes just killing you. So he's like, look, man, the police catch you with this, bro, that's a charge. Like, they gonna hem you up. They gonna do all kinds of stuff to you. They catch you with it. So I'm like, oh crap. Like, I got it on me right now, and he's like, well, if you get caught without it and something goes down, you just without a knife. I was like, okay, so what do I do? And he's like, it's really up to you, man. Like, if you think it's worth the risk, keep it on you. If not, you can put it in your mat, but they also search your mat. And the furthest thing, the further away, basically the further away you hide this thing, the less effective it's going to be if something goes down. So I'm just sitting here distraught. I'm listening to this dude thinking like, bro, you did not help me at all. Like, because I had the expectation of him just solving all my problems with his wisdom, right? And all it gave me was like, here's your options. So I'm sitting there like, dang, if they search my mat, they'll find it. And I already ran into this will be later, but the goon squad came in and shook my whole stuff up. So that's a different story though. So I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, dude. He's like, look, man, it's up to you, wherever you want to put it. Just know, like, this is what could happen on either side of the equation. So I'm like, oh, dude, I just sit on my rack and I'm like, man, I thought all I had to do was buy this knife and I'd be good, So I get to thinking, and I'm like, okay. So, like, my biggest thing is getting tried on some gay stuff. You know what I mean? Like, someone disrespecting me sexually, someone trying to violate me. I'm just being real, man. I'm being 1,000. Like, that is, I don't care how many fights I get in, bro. That is not going to happen. Like, period. Dead. I will be dead before that happens. So I was like, all right, so if it happens anywhere, it'll probably be close to the shower. You know what I mean? Like, I'm already getting put on game of like the messed up, horrible stuff that goes on here, And I'm like, okay, so I need to put it close to the shower. That's my mindset. So I scope the shower out, just go back there, use the restroom, like look around the shower, like what would be a good hiding place, what would be a good spot to put this thing, and a time to put it there that no one else would see it. You know what I mean? So I'll scan, and right by the shower, like let's say this is the shower door, there's a wall on the other side of it, and there's a brick missing, like busted in brick that's missing right above the toilet closest to the shower. So I'm like, boom, I'm going to wrap this thing up in some toilet paper. I'm going to put it behind this brick. And if anything happens in the shower, anybody tries anything in the shower, like, look, keep in mind, I don't know what's going on here. Okay. I'm green. I do not know what's going on. So I'm like, if something like some dude like ups it on me in the shower, or I drop the soap, I don't know how this works, right? I drop the soap, I get disrespected. I can just go out this shower like everything's normal, reach my hand behind that brick and grab my poker, and go in there and do what I got to do. That's my mindset at the time. So I wrap it up, wait till, everyone's cleared out, and just kind of go in there, use the restroom, got it on me, and just kind of like go to get the toilet paper and like put it in there, make sure it's secure, and leave it there. I left it there the whole time, and every now and then I check on it, and thankfully nothing happened. You know what I mean? Nothing happened where I had to use it. So that was the first time I bought a knife. Again, I'm not saying this to advocate or glorify this type of stuff. I'm just educating and letting you know. I'm trying to let you into like my mind, or maybe someone in a similar situation, like all the things that go through your head dealing with this type of crap that happens in prison. So that was my first weapon I bought. And yeah, I bought an ice pick. so I wouldn't get my honey buns touched, But look, until next time, man, I'll holler at you.